Am I the for getting my daughter her own room? I, 38 male, married my wife, Eliza, 36 female, 2 years ago. I have one daughter from a previous relationship, Tasha, 16 female, and Eliza has two daughters, Kylie, 16 female, and Kinsey, 17 female. Me and my wife have had full custody of the kids since their other parents aren't in the picture. From the start, I noticed Kylie and Kinsey did not like Tasha, but I assumed it was because the situation was new. It's important to mention that my daughter is half black and could pass for full black. I'm fully white, and so is my current wife and her children. Here we go. So my daughter needs specific and expensive hair products that range from $20 to $30. My wife complained that I was spending too much, and her daughters believed it was unfair that I paid so much for her hair. I shut it down immediately and explained that her hair products are a necessity. That night, the girls made a comment about Tasha having horsehair weave and that white girls didn't need that. Oh, wow. I never heard Tasha get so upset, and by the time me and my wife made it to the girls' room, Kinsey was laid on the floor with a broken nose while Tasha had Kylie by her hair, punching her repeatedly. Wow. Old girl can fight. My wife was able to pull Kylie away and was visibly upset with Tasha and yelled. I told her not to yell at my child and explained that if anything like this ever happened again, her daughters will be sent to live with their dad. The house was mine before they moved in, and the girls didn't like living with their dad because he was an alcoholic. So ever since that day, I haven't seen a thing happen. That was 2 years ago. The girls did really well in school this year, and we decided that a vacation was well deserved for each. So everyone put the name of the place they wanted to go to. In Japan, Tasha's choice was pulled. The other girls complained because they wanted to go to Greece, but their mother told them to shut it. I think they harbored some resentment to Tasha because of the location trip. I got 2 bedrooms, one with a queen-size bed and one with 2 beds and a couch for the girls. We ended up getting in late, so instead of doing any sightseeing, we just walked the streets of Tokyo. Tokyo off the chain for anybody that ain't been. Kylie and Kinsey were talking about a cute guy, and he walked over, so they assumed he wanted to talk to them. But instead, he wanted to talk to Tasha. He complimented her on her huge bouncy afro and her style. It's Y2K style. And asked for a picture. That's how it was for the rest of the night. She was like a celebrity. It was honestly amazing. We get to the hotel rooms, and right before I could get ready for bed, I get a call from Tasha, who was upset, saying she has nowhere to sleep. Their room is right next door, so I go over and look at the 2 girls protecting each bed. I ask what's the problem. Tasha explains that she doesn't even care about a bed, but was willing to take the couch, but the girls wouldn't move their stuff so she could sleep. They must want another woman. I asked them to move their stuff, and they asked me where they're going to put it. On the damn floor. I explain we are here for a week, place them in the drawers and closets. They tell me no, so I call my wife, and she says just tell Tasha to put some covers on the floor to sleep. Woo! You got me up. Oh my God. I hang up and leave and come back with the key for Tasha. They realize that I got her a room, and Kinsey was upset because she's the oldest. I told her to get over it, or to get over herself. By the time I walked Tasha to her room and got back, my wife yelled at me for playing favorites. Yo, you just told her to sleep on the floor. And so basically you telling her that your daughter's things are more important than your stepdaughter. That's wild. I said I wasn't going to have Tasha sleep on the floor. She called Tasha a brat and causing problems with the vacation and family like she always does. I asked her what was that supposed to mean. She sighed in frustration and said forget it, but sleeping on the floor wouldn't hurt nobody, and Tasha needs to stop acting like a brat. I told her if she believes it's not a big deal, why doesn't she sleep on the floor tonight then? I laid diagonally, taking up the entire bed, and she began yelling at me that I couldn't be serious. I told her stop acting like a brat. When she realized that I wasn't moving, she left to the girls' room and slept there. I don't feel bad about getting Tasha her own room, but maybe I could have talked to my wife better. Am I the man? The petty in me wants to say you're not that at all.
I'm going to say this, and this goes for a lot of black people directly out there, black, whatever you want to call yourself. Um, I've listed my disagreements and I've listed my concerns and my worries over the years, and it just seems that A lot of people are too selfish to understand that it's great that you care or that you love or that you found something within a person, but that doesn't mean that that same person is going to, love your offspring, love your children the exact same way, or if any at all. And the husband here, with the ex-husband, um, as I've learned later, I think he ended up actually divorcing her over the nonsense that she and her daughters decided that they wanted to pull. And this is one of the main things that I've stated to black people before. No matter who you decide to marry at the end of the day, they're playing for the home team. Irregardless of how it is that the black man felt about that woman at the time or at any time, she was always playing for the home team. And she showed this by way of vouching and taking up directly for her kids, no matter how it is that they decided to act and treat that man's daughter, which inevitably would have been considered their stepsister, right? And they treated her that way because of who she is. I want people to understand that. That man could be the greatest father known on this planet, but those girls don't care because they're looking at the other girl as invasive. They don't want her here, and they're going to showcase all of that full blast, no holdback. And it was allowed to slide time and time and time again. And then when the mother got involved, it just made it a thousand times worse. But like I said before, this was more than likely something that was a red flag that he decided not to pay attention to initially. Maybe he decided to overlook it. It ain't really as bad as it seems, and yada, yada, yada. I'll just sit up there and talk to her about it and it'll all be situated. And all to find out that, hey, we went on this trip to Japan, and this is what happened. I had to get my daughter a her own room, and they got angry. And the craziest part is how all three of them got mad because he got his daughter her own room. And the wife was like, well, she could just sit up there and, sleep on the floor. For what? Why is she sleeping on the floor? So both of your kids get to have a nice, comfortable bed, and the daughter of the black man is meant to sleep on the floor as if what, a pet, a slave. That's crazy to me. That's 100% crazy. And then not only that, she couldn't even take the couch because the two girls were like, well, we got our stuff on the couch. Where are we going to put it? If our stuff isn't on the couch, where else are we going to put it? They act as if there's lava or there's a black hole underneath them, and then just somehow some levitation of magical science is just keeping all the fixtures up and allowing them to walk on the surface. That's completely nonsensical to me. Completely nonsensical. You have your stuff on the couch, throw it on the floor. It's that simple. Throw it on the floor. But as which normally happens, people normally reach their breaking point. And the daughter reached her breaking point more than likely after years of having to deal with all of this nonsense. So she just handled it herself and started just going ham all over the place, started dog walking both of those girls. And I want people to understand this was literally two versus one. But literally, they met up with She Hulk, and she was just rampaging all throughout their room. She was like, "Okay, well, I won't be able to sleep in this room. Well, I guess nobody's getting a good sleep." Bop 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 bop, and that was it. That was it. People, coming through probably with some, bleeding here and there, some scratching, some bruising, black eyes, noses. Yeah, that was happening, and it was well deserved. It was well deserved because I keep trying to tell people that nice people have a limit. And the moment in time that a nice person reaches that limit, automatically people start losing their minds when that nice person starts raging out. When they start treating people the exact same way that they have been treated. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Was it really that serious? You didn't have to, violence wasn't necessary. This could have been handled in a. No, 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 no. No, 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 because when black people try to come to others cordially, when we try to speak so eloquently and use all of the great dictionary words and terminology definition and words from the thesaurus, people don't respect it. They say that this is how they want black people to speak, but they don't really respect it because at the end of the day, they still don't like you. So all you did is change yourself for a group of people who don't like you, don't accept you, and they still won't accept you, even if you move whatever it is that you have to their same bar of standard. They're still not going to accept you because now it's going to be like, oh, look at you trying to be like us, trying to emulate. No, we're just trying to be on an even footing. But like I said, this is when you start to understand that black people are now getting tired. Black people are now getting tired. When you start to see the younger generation just crashing out on actual stuff, I'm not talking about dumb stuff. I'm not talking about stuff that doesn't make sense. When they start crashing out on stuff for a logical reason, or stuff that actually makes sense for very valid reasons, you're going to understand what the future is going to hold. And again, I want to reiterate to a lot of black people out there because I know quite a few black people who are in multiracial relationships. And like I said, I love everybody. I have no problem with y'all. Y'all made y'all choice. Y'all made y'all decision. At the end of the day, I am not going to try to sway you away from wherever it is that you want to lay. All I got to sit up there and say is I hope you realize at the end of the day that your decision inevitably will fall upon your child. Whatever your failures are, whatever it is that you refuse to acknowledge or see in the beginning, your child is going to have to pick up, clean up, and deal with that problem. Because at the end of the day, if your child comes from both parties, two separate parties, guess what? You're not going to be able to realistically teach that child properly because you are not that. They are not, in a sense, you. They are from two separate whole worlds. So that's two different parts of history. That's two different, worlds and whatnot that they literally have to try to surf through to try to figure out who they are. You can tell them that, oh, you're my child. You're the. That's not going to innately tell them anything. They have to feel that out for themselves. They have to figure that out for themselves. You trying to direct them and tell them is not going to do anything. Sometimes, to certain extents, depending on the parents, depending on how abrasive a lot of y'all are, it makes it worse and it makes those kids want to sway away from whatever it is that you're saying and go to a whole other side that's not telling them anything, right? Because they view the nothingness, they view the emptiness as, in a sense, acceptance, as quietness where they can just be. When realistically, it's a lot more dangerous than the unknown. So, like I said before, to a lot of adults out there that decide to be in a lot of these relationships, it is what it is at the end of the day. Hopefully that you made the right choice and you are very mindful of your children, because I've covered a variety of stories, both dealing with black men and black women here, because I'm an equal opportunist, because far too often I've covered a story, one or the other, and people want to just sit up there and jump on one side or then decide to jump on the other side. And then when I happen to showcase both stories in the same video, magically it's the silence is deafening. I'm like, where's all of that rage? Where's all of the anger that everybody magically had? But now when both are sitting directly there, people are quiet. The same energy is never applied. And I've said this for 5+ years now. And just like how the same energy isn't applied in those circumstances, the same energy isn't applied when black people should make the utmost intelligent and logical decisions whenever it is that they decide to find a mate. You should always think about the middle and the end, not the beginning where you're happy and in the honeymoon phase. Think about that child. Think about what it is that they have to go through. Think about how the other side of that family is going to treat and pick up on the energy of that child, how they're going to picture and narrate that child, how they're going to talk around that child, what they're specifically going to say and state to that child's face. Like I said, the moment in time that more black people start thinking about that and caring about the child before they get here, I feel as though that black people in general will make better decisions and partners, and things like this won't necessarily happen. I just want to say kudos for the father for taking a stand directly for his daughter when things fully showcased, when it showed its ugly head, and he stood directly on business. And it didn't matter what the outcome was going to be. He was on the side of his daughter, and he knew that she was right and that everybody else was wrong. So hopefully there's a lesson that other black people can, learn directly from this so that they don't go down the same road or have this exact same story.